I'm Kristen Belcher, and welcome to my talk on powerful questions. As leaders in technology, we're problem solvers. We're used to having all the right answers, solving business problems. But how do we take our stance from having all the right answers to asking all the right questions? It's a good question. We'll talk about that more. First, a little bit about myself. I'm a senior Agile coach at a company called Vertafone. We're a US-based software company providing solutions to the insurance industry. And my journey in technology started about 14 years ago when I was a developer. And over the last 10 years, I've been coaching teams and leaders and my organization as a Scrum Master, a team lead, release train engineer, and now an Agile coach. As you can see in my family photo, I'm a mom of 4. I have 2 toddlers and 2 teenagers. But toddlers and teenagers is another talk for another day. You can also find me at Healthy Agile on Twitter. And like many of you, I am suddenly remote. I've done this work from home thing a time or two before, and I've worked from home quite a bit early mornings for me to have some overlap time with teams I work with in India. But over the last few weeks, everyone's been remote, and it's been definitely a different experience. So I have a question for you. What has surprised you most about everyone being remote these past few weeks? Or maybe put another way, what have you missed the most during social distancing? It really makes me wonder, what are your answers? Do you wonder what my answers are? Being in this state of wonder, this genuine inquiry and curiosity, this can help us ask really good questions. And it can really help us look at the world through different perspectives. We're not seeking, a specific answer or having ulterior motives in asking questions like these. We're looking for honesty. And we're really seeking to understand people more than we need to be understood. That's what asking powerful questions and really listening is all about. A lot of times we tend to get locked in to our closed-ended questions. Those questions that have definite answers, yes or no, maybe multiple choice. These things are great for status reports, cross-examinations in courtrooms, maybe asking interview questions to determine if someone has requisite knowledge. They really direct the conversation. And that can be okay, but it can also really stifle your conversation. Asking closed-ended questions can take things in the wrong direction sometimes, and it doesn't really invite conversation or collaboration, so it can really kind of keep you in the dark. If you contrast that with open-ended questions, these are the wide open spaces of asking questions, the big blue skies. They invite storytelling. They provide options to the person answering the question for clarification, for elaboration. They're really exploratory. Open-ended questions are great in learning situations and in mentoring. They might not always get you a specific answer. They may never get you a concrete answer. But open-ended questions can really take the conversation in unexpected directions. Now, that can be frustrating. It can look like you're totally off on a tangent. But the person answering the question, taking you on this journey with them, that can really take you to places you never expected. And that's what's really, really powerful. Powerful questions are truly open. There's not a right answer to a powerful question. They invite people to introspect, to really think, to unlock their creativity and their insights, to discover new things. You can really unlock what's in someone's mind with a powerful question, and then they can share that with the world. So what are the characteristics of these powerful questions? Well, first of all, we want to keep it simple. The KISS principle, keep it simple. You want to ask a very simple question. And it'll be simple to ask, but maybe not as simple to answer. And that's what we want. We want to get people thinking. We want to get the gears in their head turning. We want to know their thoughts, their feelings, their opinions. And if you're asking that from a genuine stance of curiosity, you really want to know what someone else thinks, that absolutely invites collaboration, which is huge, especially right now. It is imperative that we are intentional in our collaboration right now, because we can't just have accidental collaboration when we're not sitting next to each other in an office. Also, powerful questions help you embrace your imagination. So many companies, so many teams, so many people just like you have been really creative and imaginative lately with their work situations. For instance, my laptop is sitting here on top of a cereal box because that's what works. And so lots of companies are really trying to unlock imagination and creativity right now so that we can get through the situation working from home. Lastly, powerful questions really enable people to grow. They unleash potential, and they really lift people up to their potential and finding their higher selves. Simply put, powerful questions are empowering. And these questions, when you ask them from that stance of curiosity, they can really empower and inspire your teams to achieve greatness. So which questions are more powerful than others? What do they look like? Well, those lower power questions, those are your closed-ended questions. They can be really useful for getting answers, but if your teams and your organizations really need to collaborate and innovate and learn, you need to ask questions that matter. Questions like, what do you think? Or how are we going to do this? Those higher powered questions can really help you achieve more collaboration and better results across the board. Now, asking high-powered questions can also put people on the defensive sometimes. If you just ask someone why, and they don't know you very well, or you can't see their face, you can't see their intention, you haven't established that rapport, that can be really, really attacking and can make people shut down. So remember that with great power in your questions comes great responsibility. We want powerful questions. We don't want loaded questions. You want to keep it simple. Don't get complex. Don't provide lots of twists and turns. Just ask a question. And do your best not to give people answers. You don't want to ruin a good, powerful question by turning it into a which question and only giving people the choices that you can think of. You really want to build that trust and rapport with people and be genuinely curious and not judgmental. You don't want to ask a question in the first place if you're just going to give someone else the answer. We want to hear their answers. So when you think about it that way, questions that have lower power require lower trust levels to answer. But those questions that have higher power require higher levels of trust. So make sure that you build rapport with your teams, that you show up genuinely curious, and you can ask those higher powered, higher trust level questions. Questions like, what if it works out exactly as you want it to? How do you interpret it? What other angles can you see? If you don't feel like you can ask the why question, maybe try and rephrase it as a what question or a how question so that you can prove that you're showing up curious and that you're really genuinely interested what someone else has to say. Using powerful questions like this can help you create a culture of openness and transparency, curiosity, empathy, and it really can help your organization grow. Doing that leads to greater success for you, for your teams, for your peers, and for your organization. So big thanks to everyone who helped me with this talk. And here's a list of my sources. I can also provide the links in Slack. Have a great day.